Good afternoon. It's around 12:30 on Tuesday, the 24th of April, 2018, if you need the year as well. I received an email this morning from my dear friend Perry, and in the body of the email he asked me, "Well, how are you doing personally?" We talk a lot about how he's been doing, how Gail is doing, the journey that they have been on, how empowering that journey has been, the release from feelings that the end is imminent and into feelings that the new is beginning. From the end being imminent to new beginnings. And Perry asked me, how are you doing in all of this, in your own personal life? And I have to say, I'm really at the edge of the experience itself. It's like riding at the lip of the wave. And the wave is quite tall. And where often in the past, those waves have been ridden at sea, this series of waves is very much part of the land mass that I am beginning to embody in my own life. My grandson Lachlan, at 2.5, is growing so quickly, changing quite dramatically. He's really putting two and two together and coming up with 10 plus. I often see him in such an activity of change that I find it quite awe-inspiring. It isn't always pleasant. He's 2.5, but it is awakening in a very deep space for me. At the same time, I am working with a 99-year-old lady who is preparing to make the passage across, One can't say that it will happen tomorrow. You can't read what that passage is, the timing of that passage. But you can say, I can say, that I do notice the changes in her that seem to point toward making the passage across. Now, what does that mean, and how does one get there, and what can one say about that time and space? Well, it's a faith structure. So it's hard for me to say, oh yes, this is what it is for me or for anyone. But I can say that as a witness, what it is represents a very authentic and natural passage. My friend weeps with desire to go home, in a spiritual phrasing of that phrase, go home, and weeps with a fear of, oh my goodness, what does that mean? What can I believe? I'm now so close that I can't really get a reading of my own existence. It seems that my existence is transitory in a way that only describes itself as being, oh my goodness, is this going to be all of who I am? Is there more to me than I seem to witness? Am I going forward into a space that inherits me as well as I inherit it? Hard to know. It's hard for me to know what role I play other than I show up on time prepared to be where I am in the healing and inclusion that happens to be part of death and dying. And it's that way for me. Death and dying is present. Change is present. The unknown is present. And a depth of acceptance that I can't say I have experienced as complete is now part of the who I am of life itself. I don't know if this gives you a sense of me. Sometimes it doesn't give much of a sense of who I believe I am because I feel so transitory. And others might say, well, that could be transcendence. And I say, yes, it could, but it could be just plain and simply transitory. Anyway, you're loved. That's the best I can give today. I will listen to this, and assuming it passes muster, I will get it out to you. God bless, God bless. You are truly loved. Bye-bye.